the highest compliment I can pay to this movie is that I did not see the twist involving Jeff Bridges and Callum Turner's characters coming at all. Were you pitched that twist when someone explained the movie to you, or did you discover it upon reading the script for the first time?
Yeah, it was from reading it. I'd read the script so long ago, though. The script's been around for a while. So yeah, I can't remember not knowing the twist. It feels really obvious to me, but that's because I guess I read it a while ago.
Did you figure it out? Do you remember before it was revealed? Is that what you're saying?
I think I did, but I'm sneaky like that.
So, I mean, it's such a great group of people, from Pierce Brosnan to Jeff Bridges to Cynthia Nixon, such great, veteran actors and actresses working on this. Was there anyone that you had already known or already had worked with, or were these all new people to you?
They actually were all new people. That was what was wild. And what was lovely was that Mark really created a kind of a theatre company feeling. So I actually went out a couple of weeks early because he and Alan wanted to work on, they wanted a kind of a woman's take on my character, who I think began life in a slightly more opaque way, and that was a really nice creative thing for me as well. But then we did a lot of kind of intense bonding things. So we went for pizza, and then we all watched the debates, and it was like going through kind of trauma together. And I remember watching those first debates and thinking, thank God I've got Jeff Bridges' leg, just to kind of just to hold on to something good and pure. So there's some hope for the universe, a bit. So that was actually intensely bonding, because we were all in such a state of terror. And so what was weird was that Jeff and I rehearsed a lot, and we had table reads, and Pierce was there, and then I got to doing the movie, and I had one scene with Jeff, so we'd done all this bonding, and then it was like over in one night. It was really odd. Yeah,
I mean, this is a character that on the page or in lesser hands could have been extremely two-dimensional, just kind of the vixen, two-timing bitch. But in your hands, she's so much more. I mean, what kind of, right? What kind of conversations did you have with Alan Loeb or Mark Webb as far as fleshing this woman out?
Well, I hope they don't mind me saying this, but when they first sent the script, she was written as a mysterious woman.
Not your favorite
which
word.
Is, well, it's not actable. It's also really boring. And it's a trope I think we've sort of come to a point where we don't need to see that shit anymore. And I think it's a very interesting position to be in, if you really think about it, where a woman has found herself having an affair with a married man who's probably been saying he's going to leave his wife for some time and isn't, and then is presented with this kind of very available, very adoring sort of version of him, but a while ago. It doesn't necessarily mean you're a sociopath if you make bad decisions. It doesn't necessarily mean you're kind of this sort of moustache-twirling, meddling, evil person. The other interesting thing is at no point during any of these discussions has anyone ever mentioned that Pierce is a bad person, who's actually the person that's cheating on his wife. And so culturally, I just thought, I do I do find this kind of an interesting one. I feel kind of responsible in the sense that I've got friends who've had affairs with people who are in relationships. They're not bad people. They may well have felt morally tortured over it, but it doesn't mean they're a terrible person who doesn't realise they're doing a terrible thing. And I really wanted to find this person who was at a point in her life where she might be making morally questionable decisions, and yet she's still a kind of feeling, thinking human being, which I feel like as a woman those things don't come around very often. And I found myself with Alan and Mark very open, people who were very open to going, help us, should we suddenly turn her into a sociopath and murders everyone at the end? Or I was kind of like, no, let's not do that, we've seen that.
I love movies where you have all of these characters kind of in their own storylines culminating in a moment where everybody in the film meets up. So in this case, it's Pierce's character throwing the party for his publishing house, and then all of a sudden you're there and Jeff is there and everyone's there. What are your recollections of that moment where it was finally a scene where it is you, Callum, Pierce, Jeff, Cynthia, all at once?
It was so exciting, like I said, because we'd been made this company that was then frustrated by, I was only ever with Callum, really, or being followed about by Callum a lot. That was a great deal of my experience of the movie. Was sort of, where's Wally? And it was Callum. And we had this very long, the longest sex scene day of my life, which actually is not in the movie, which I'm furious about, really, because I've never worked so hard in my life. It was hours. It was on Halloween, and we were both so over it. That was what was so funny. We were both like, oh.
Why didn't it make it in? It's only an 88-minute movie. They could have fit 3 more minutes in there.
I know, or 15 more minutes. I mean, God knows the amount of footage. It was so much. I actually did ask the director that. I said, I got it. And also, he was almost in the bed with us. I mean, it was this very intense marathon situation.
So what did he say?
What? He said it was something about a montage or something being tricky or something or other anyway. But my God, that was grueling. I feel like there's got to be a director's cut that proves I've worked that hard in my life.
Now, you and I did a couple of these chats last year because I was a humongous fan of Love and Friendship, your film with Stillman that reunited you with Chloe Sevigny. And we talked a lot about the wardrobe and how kind of constricting it was. So were you super excited to go about something
maybe the
contemporary?
first movie in which I wore sweatpants, and that was a seminal moment for me. Yeah.
Did you have a hand with? Because I think Anne Roth did the costumes,
Anne Roth,
right?
who I
was
worship.
fabulous.
I don't know if you've ever met her.
I have. She's great.
She's a force of nature. I loved her so much on site, and she was brilliant. And we had no budget, and she kind of made these amazing things happen. And I just sort of wanted to be her.
Is she the kind of person who could? She's an Oscar winner, if not definitely a nominee, probably a winner as well.
Yeah.
Is she collaborative? Does she want your input on what Johanna's fashion would be?
Yes, but in this kind of ornery way that I love. She sort of reminded me of John Schlesinger, and then it turned out they were really good friends, and then it really made sense because John Schlesinger directed this movie Cold Comfort Farm that I did years ago, and he and I fell madly in love, and he was terribly ornery and kind of grumpy and gorgeous. And as soon as I met her, I thought, this is so weird. It's like, here's John Schlesinger and a tiny woman. Mm-hmm. And then she mentioned that they were close friends, and I was like, okay, got it. Love that. Yeah.
Let me finish with this. This experience, did it change the way that you view love and relationships, having gone
this experience?
Yeah, playing this character.
Sorry. So many other experiences have. Not so much this. No, not really. What I liked about the movie was that it was, and like I said, Mark was the perfect person for this, it was all people who were at some sort of crisis, kind of wanting connection and sort of fucking themselves up. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the case for a lot of people. I think being a human is really hard, and being a human trying to be involved with another human is nearly impossible, really, but we're all having a go. Mm-hmm. And there's something kind of moving and funny and terrible about the fact that nearly everyone is suffering in some way, single, married or not. Yeah. And I liked that about this movie. It just felt kind of very sort of like, we don't know what we're doing.
Do we know?
Yeah.
But we'll try to figure it out. Yeah. Well, thank you for creating this really fascinating character.
Thank you.
And for being here tonight.